Hi there. Okay, we're going to talk about PTSD and some things to do for it. And we're going to talk about dogs. Okay, dogs are wonderful. PTSD is a struggle. Okay, is that enough? Oh, I don't think so. All right. I have PTSD. My husband has PT, post-traumatic stress disorder. Now, it's very important that you understand the difference, only because if you understand the difference, you have more of a concept of why people have the diagnosis. Actually, but the reactions are very much the same, very, very much the same. Typically, PTSD is from a traumatic event. It can be war, it's usually a year-long assignment, or something less if a war is over sooner. You've seen people die, you've seen buildings crash down. There's all kinds of things that happen in a war. You lose friends, you lose access to food and bathrooms and showers and shelter, all kinds of things. And usually it's not more than a year. It can be very little bit, but that's the idea. It's not forever. CPTSD, post-traumatic stress disorder. I'm having too much fun talking to you today. What happens is it's over a period of years, usually childhood. It can also occur within a marriage. If a woman is abused or a man is abused in the marriage, and it goes on for years and years, and for whatever reason they stay in the marriage, and for the kids or whatever it happens to be, they can end up with CPTSD. Okay, also there can be enormous stress for a long period of time from something else. Take example. You give birth to a child and you're looking for the Gerber baby, and what you end up with a quadriplegic. Your child can't move, they can't do anything themselves, they can't talk, they can't walk, they can't do any of the things normal kids do. And yet you're caring for this child over and over for years. That can be the same kind of stressor. You have to check with a mental health person, because post-traumatic stress disorder changes the way you think. It changes your brain. It modifies the way you look at things. It modifies your response to things. You can't even begin to know the triggers, because, I mean, you will eventually, but not at first. At first you won't realize why you got triggered. But odd things will trigger you, and you may be unbelievably angry. And that's very common with the war people, because they've seen things they don't like and they couldn't do anything about it. And usually that's the feeling. Same way with a rape. You were in it, you were involved in it, you were a part of it, you were not agreeing to it, and you were, whatever happened to you was incredibly dramatic and traumatizing and horrid, and not something maybe you can't even remember. I mean, there's all kinds of things that occur. Our brains are dealing with something that's outside of the normal, and it's difficult. It's very difficult. We don't know what will be given that diagnosis. It's up to the doctors. They have to do certain tests and things to find out what's going on. But it is serious. It's not a joke. And it's not something that you can just push off. It's not like saying, oh, I'll just stop cigarettes, so I'll close them up and put them away. Well, no, it's more like food. When you want to lose weight, you still have to eat. Well, that's the way PTSD is. You want to find a way to deal with it, but you've still got it. And one of the ways that can be so incredibly helpful is a service dog. Now, typically for just, and I'm not using the word just like it's nothing, but just a diagnosis of PTSD, you would have a psychiatric service dog. There's one in training right here. Would you like to look at the people and say hi? That's a good boy. This is Finn, and Finn is sitting here next to me because that's what his job is to make sure I'm okay. That would be a psychiatric service dog, and the dog would be taught to lick you, bump you, nudge you, something. He'd be taught something to do when you're not grounded, when you're going off on being angry or crying your heart out or sobbing or about to cry or whatever is your reaction to either something that's a flashback or something that just triggers you. Simply a trigger, and I'm sorry about the word just. It's that there is something out there and it will affect you. And when you have the dog with you and the dog nudges you, it's different than having a person. It's very different because there's a different kind of one. For one thing, it's not a human. And the dog has been trained to do what you best respond to. So there's this movement and connection with the bond that you have with the animal. And stroking the dog, just feeling the dog it lowers your blood pressure, we know that. But just knowing that you have unconditional love, regardless of your behavior. And that's a really important word. Regardless love, 3 words, of your behavior. It is really important because one of the biggest problems with PTSD is that people want to walk away from you. People want to get away from you. They don't want to be around you. You're so unpredictable. You never know when something's going to trigger you, or you never know where panic attacks. Real common situation where you walk into a store, let's say, and you happen to see rifles on sale, and you just go blank. You say, I have to get out of here. And you not only have to get out of the parking lot, you have to get home, or you have to get somewhere where you're safe. That's one of the things the dog can do. Let's say, for whatever reason, you had a friend who stayed in the car with the dog, because you obviously don't want to leave the dog in the car alone because he could die. But you had a friend who stayed in the car, and you just said, no, I've got to get back to the car, and I've got to be able to pet my dog. That's what I need right now. That's what I need. Or you might have the dog with you, because if it says psychiatric service dog on the dog, then there's no problem. You can take the dog anywhere, usually. Usually there's no problem with that, as long as it's obvious that the dog is under your control and you're not invading the movement or the behaviors of other people. You're not ruining their experience in the shopping grocery store or Walmart or wherever you are. That's their biggest concern. They don't want an animal that's making it difficult for the other people who happen to be around. But for you, it can be the difference between having to leave and being okay. Let's say you walk in the store, you see the guns, you have a terrible reaction to it, and they have a coffee shop right there in the store, and you have the dog. And so you go over to the coffee shop and you sit down, you order a cup of coffee, and you have the dog with you. And maybe your friends go on to start their shopping, but you stay with the dog. And you would be amazed to know that in a short period of time, you're okay. That's what it means. But they have to be trained. Usually they have to be 2 years old. A lot of people nowadays are getting dogs from shelters. A dog that clearly responds to you, a dog that's clearly at least 2 years of age. And there's all kinds of courses online that you can take on how to train the dog. If the dog responds to you, if there's a bond right away, you have a really good chance. Because if you have someone train your dog, by the time you pay a couple $1,000s for the dog and $12,000, $15,000, $20,000 for training, you've got a huge investment. But if you find a dog, and it doesn't matter if it's a small dog or a big dog, it's if the dog responds to you. That's what's important. And you respond to the dog. You cannot believe the difference in your life. It changes everything. I have issues with safety. I don't feel safe much of the time, especially in my room, because my parents used to come in and attack me. It was real common, both of them. It was real common situation. So having a dog in the bed next to me or on the floor next to me, I don't have to worry about that because the dog's going to wake me up. Instead of me being, in fact, I was raped twice in my own bed. And so that too is there. But the dog will wake you up. And the dog is a distraction. And when you have that distraction, you've put yourself in a much better situation. Okay? If you have any questions, right below. I also have Summerland Trauma Caregivers School. It's free. I have 4 different meetings a week. You're welcome to come. I'd be happy to talk with you and help you through any of this, answer any of your questions, anything you want to do. Or you can just contact me below. Love it if you'd subscribe. As you know, that's the game. So thank you so much for being here.